Yes, hello. This is Sara Jamshidi, founder and producer for Goltune News. Welcome to my channel, Peace Talk with Sara. So please subscribe to my channel and please share this video with your friends. I would be really appreciated. For today, it's Friday, and then I decided to just go through some of the things that we have been doing in Goltune, the publication that I manage, and also to tell you about what is coming up for the next week. And at the end, I'm just going to have a very quick, brief talk about Iran and about my home country and what's going on between Iran and the United States. But first and foremost, one thing that was pretty exciting news this week that we published, basically Halima Aden is the first hijab wearing model who had walked through so many of the important big catwalks, including Max Mara, Dolce & Gabbana, and many others. So Halima was recruited by Sport Illustrator. It's the magazine which usually every year during this time of the year they do the shooting of swimwears and swimsuits, beautiful swimsuits and beautiful women. But this time they decided they would feature Halima covered head to toe in burkini, which is the name of the swimwear that the usually Muslim women wear. And she did that. It was pretty amazing. I loved all the videos. And when she did, there was a controversy over her action in the Muslim community. Some people were just, felt offensive and didn't like what she did, and some people were cheering for her and for her decision. So she went to explain why she did and what was her motive, and basically it was all about I am model, and I just put on the dresses that I've been recruited for, and I just try to keep up with my values. This story was published on National. We reposted a few sections of the story. I think it was pretty amazing, and you need to go to goltune.com to read and to watch to read the story. The other very fascinating report that we received this week, basically the week hasn't been ended, this week was about halal travel and halal holidays. So according to the report, there is about, let me see, so Muslims spend around $220 billion, are going to spend $220 billion in 2020 on halal travels and Muslim-friendly destinations. Also, the demographic in the halal holidays and halal travelers is they are well-educated people, upwardly mobile, and young travelers. So that is fascinating. Also, which was very fascinating to me, was the rise of Muslim female solo travelers. That's fascinating. I think it's very important for women to feel independent and safe, so then they can enjoy themselves by their own companies compared to family companies or friends. I mean, those are also good, but I think having this kind of confidence is always amazing to see from a woman's point of view. There are a few critiques about the halal travel, and one of the very important one is the report says that there is no uniformity in the system dedicated to halal certification process. And also the industry is still, although the solo female travelers are improving, but there is still the lack of perhaps not the lack of, but shortage of being so friendly towards Muslim female travelers. I think that was a pretty fascinating story. If you go to goltune.com, you also see other stories that a gentleman in Malaysia has put together a halal delivery, basically delivering halal food to many different destinations within his town and the neighboring town. For the next week, we are going to have very interesting stories, lines of interesting stories. So one story is going to be about Nike Pro Hijab story that they just reported they are profiting out of the Pro Hijab sportwear they had started a few years ago. And also my favorite one is Hapitality. So some of the stores decided to measure hospitality, measure happiness along with hospitality that they are offering to their customers. We are going to have a story about that, and also one story about the fashion industry, who is, the numbers are very striking. I do have the report here. It says that the 73% of employees in apparel stores are female. 78% of students who are studying in fashion are female. Yeah, pretty striking. But how many female CEOs we have in the fashion industry? It's only 12%. So the report is looking at what's the problem, why this is happening, and what we need to do to encourage more women to take the higher level positions. Also, Friday is usually the food Friday for us. So we hopefully we can get our halal food story in on time, inshallah, as we say. These are the lines up for the stories we're going to publish. On personal note, I wanted to talk about something, one of the major stories, and it's not a story. For me, it's an event. It's something striking happening in the United States that the world is paying attention. That is the Mr. Trump's administration's, or his decision to strike Iran. I am not going to talk about politics. I am not going to talk about Mr. Trump or any of those, or Mr. Khamenei, or Iran theocracy, or US aggression, or any of those, none of those. What I am interested to talk about right now at this moment is the phenomenon of the war and its ugliness. I lived through war. I was a teenager when the war between Iran and Iraq was happening, and it was very bad. I've seen dead corpse, dead pregnant women, dead kids, and it's, war is the last resort, and we usually go to the war if we really want to defend ourselves, I think. And war is not for attacking for some interests or national interests. So what is going to happen if any war happens between the United States, my adopted country, and Iran, my home country, is going to be very devastating. You know what? My grandma, Sara Sultan, lives in Tehran. I adopted my new name from her name. I have my uncles, my aunts, my family members, very close family members in Tehran. And I have my friends and family in many parts of the country. So it's pretty personal for me in one thing. The other thing is about this civilization. Iran, has 2,500 years of civilization. Back then, Iran was the superpower, like what the United States is right now. She was the superpower. And we had the Persian Empire, and the Persian Empire was compared against the Roman Empire. So in Iran, we have sites like Persepolis, beautiful gardens like Chehel Sutun or 40 columns. We have so many beautiful sites that has there is a century of history, century of story behind them. And with war, there is a possibility that we lose many of those. We don't want that. We don't want that. War is very serious. It's not like, you just take your popcorn and sit on your couch, look at the screen and just see, oh yeah, this happened and that happened and this side was bombarded and that side was bombarded. For better or for worse, the US media always edits and re-edits and goes through a heavy editing of what to show and what not to show about the war. So in the media, we just reshape the whole phenomenon. So we don't show casualty, we don't show bloodshed, we don't show any of those, because we want to be protective of our audience and our own people. Having said that, this doesn't mean that these things are not happening. War is about killing. It's about killing in massive numbers. And I really don't think that we as a nation really want to commit another big mistake, like weapons of mass destruction and like invading and exporting our democracy to the other nations. We just do not want that happen. So I truly hope, honestly, in the bottom of my heart, I don't think that the war is happen, but even the talk of the war is really devastating. It threatens the infrastructure of the social capacity in the country. When there is the talk of war, so people become very defensive. People become very scared. No important or good project happens because it's the manner of survival. It's the mode of survival, and if you just need to make sure you are going to survive for the next day. So again, this is very personal. That's why I started this channel, Peace Talk with Sara. I truly hope that we talk about peace. We talk about peace in the Middle East. We talk about understanding other nations. And my whole hope with Goltune, with my team, with everything is, I believe it's possible. It's possible to make amends and to bridge gaps between these two huge, important, big civilizations of Islam and the West. We learned so much from Islamic civilizations and glory time during Islam in 14, 15, 16, 17 centuries. And Muslims learned a lot from West and West intellectual and awakenings. So I hope this kind of back and forth education happens peacefully without going through a massive casualty. Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel, and please make comments if you want to say anything. If you want to talk to me, please make comments. Please share the video with your friends. And until next week, that I'm going to come back with new updates. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much and take care. Bye-bye. Voila.